Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Abnormal Beauty, a Hong Kong horror movie from 2004 that was directed by Oxide Pang, one half of the Pang brothers, a directing duo who is responsible for one of the more popular Asian horror films from the early 2000s, and that is, of course, The Eye. Now, I've mentioned multiple times on this channel in the past that there are some titles in the Pang brothers' filmography that I enjoy more than The Eye. Diary, Recycle, The Detective, and Abnormal Beauty being some examples. So what's the plot of this one? Well, Jiney is a beautiful and talented photography student. One day she witnesses a gruesome car accident, but instead of being horrified, she finds herself aroused. Overcome with an excitement and satisfaction, she becomes obsessed with photographing death. Her obsession with death may just get her killed. Now, I've always been a fan of this movie, going back decades now. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not like it very much. Abnormal Beauty is one of those films that may annoy a number of people because it does not have enough explicit violence to please the gorehounds, yet it contains just enough of that to anger everyone else. Now, usually the gorehounds will complain about the first boring hour of the film, and then it's the fans of psychological horror who will complain about the gratuitousness of the final half hour. But I think both aspects of this film, the psychology and the violence, work quite well together, actually. Now, thematically, Abnormal Beauty does a fine job of showcasing the more macabre, dark aspects of art, which I find to be very interesting thematically. Our main protagonist spends most of the film behind her camera, initiating her mental and sexual fulfillment by viewing and photographing the death of living things. At the same time, however, she's becoming more and more detached from reality, and this is portrayed by her traumatic past, as well as her dysfunctional relationship with her mother, things that she's unable to come to terms with or resolve. And the perspective of photography is an important element in this film, because her situation changes when she's on the other side of the camera. In other words, when someone else is filming her. And when that happens, you see a sharp transition to more like visceral, violent horror. And because of this, the structure of the film, I think, makes a lot of sense. Now, I've always felt that Oxide Pang was the better director when compared to his brother Danny, and this is evident in their solo directing efforts. I always prefer Oxide's solo efforts over Danny's when you would compare them head to head. There's a lot of rhythm to Abnormal Beauty. The way that it's shot, edited, the music. There are montages that are very entertaining to watch because certain things are expressed visually, and it's all very stylish. Use of color is very nice. I love the shots inside of the dark room where they develop photos. It's such a visually engaging movie, which is always a big plus for me, and I feel like Oxide is just, he's a more talented visually than Danny is. Now, in terms of scares, there's a wide mix of different things here. You get thematic scares, you get suspense, and then you get some violence. Some of the set pieces in this movie are some of my personal favorites from the early 2000s Asian horror scene. One example is the suicide scene. There's a person in a high-rise building who commits suicide, and it's shot in a very clever way. I still don't think I've seen anything like it before. There's stalker tape footage that's quite unnerving, and then, of course, some violent moments here and there. I just think there's some very distinct and memorable scenes in this film. So I would say, despite its relatively lukewarm reception, I still strongly recommend Abnormal Beauty. You should probably go in with tempered expectations, since I like this quite a bit more than the average person, but I still think it's a must-watch if you're interested in Asian horror. Now, the easiest way to find it nowadays is on DVD, So if you've seen it, and a lot of you probably have, let me know what you think. I'm expecting a lot of negative responses, but still, let me know what you think. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.